Welcome to episode 39 of the Serial Chillers podcast. I am your host, Jesse, and thank you for coming by. Today, we travel a little farther back in time than we normally do, and we talk about Harvey Glatman. Yes, Harvey Glatman may have been the first serial killer to ever photograph one of his victims. So, some fun stuff here. I had a ton of fun. I really enjoyed having all of these people on the show. Bigfoot is returning for his 1 millionth episode. Co-host Greg was there, and some new voices too. So stick around, and as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Serial Chillers podcast. Welcome, everybody, to episode 39 of the Serial Chillers podcast. Episode 39 of 1 million. I always have to clarify, make sure to keep it strong for me. You know, I gotta have a goal that I'm working towards. So
I like it.
Today I'm here. We got 3 contestants on the show, 4 people here total with me. We got 5 on the show. We're gonna hear a lot of voices. Try not to get confused, everybody. Let's go first and foremost across the internet to his underground bunker somewhere far away.
George Norrie.
Co-host Greg. How goes it?
George Norrie wishes.
Art Bell.
So,
Yeah.
How is it in the bunker, and is there anything you'd like to add today before we start, Greg?
There are rations aplenty, and we're doing fine. And yeah, I just wanted to shout out, oh God, I hope I don't butcher her name, but Serbi Mata, because she asked for it on Facebook. So there it is.
The shout out runs strong. While we're doing it, we might as well. I will give a shout out to Jules Baker for bumping up that Patreon, and
Boom.
to our good friend Robbie Matthews, who gave to the Patreon this week too.
Ooh.
Here, Robbie, you better keep giving, or I'll kill you. He's gonna like that. He's
And
gonna
I'll
like
bury you, Daddy.
It took a dark turn. I appreciate it.
And also across the internet, first time on the show, but not the first time in my heart.
Aww.
Welcome, Matt.
Oh, howdy.
Hey
there.
Matt is joining us from Austin, Texas.
Hence the howdy.
Yeah, he's really selling it, you guys.
Y'all.
Y'all.
And
Drop a couple of partners too.
Oh, yeah, I can't use all my tricks at once.
and on his 37th episode of 39, we've got the Bigfoot, or Casey.
That right there, just for those of you who do not know, that is Samurai Chatter. That was recorded up in the Sierra Nevadas.
By Ron Moreland and Alan Berry.
Yes, and that is Bigfoot conversing.
Can you translate or no?
He was sworn
maybe
to
tomorrow.
secrecy.
Oh, right.
You should look it up though. It's pretty legit.
My apologies for asking.
And now you've got a theme sound, Casey. So
Thank you.
or Bigfoot. Sorry, I should have been more appropriate.
Bigfoot Designs. BIGGFOOTS Designs on Instagram.
And to my left, Casey's right. Casey's sister, first time on the show.
First time.
She seems to be very excited to be here.
Literally love serial killers.
Welcome to the show.
Obsessed. So happy to be here.
Caitlin.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Prepare your mailbox.
Hey, it's been a long time since someone's been excited to be here.
No,
so.
I'm friggin' pumped.
And Caitlin is in studio, but she hails from Jacksonville, Florida.
Florida.
Florida, yes.
Yeah. Commonly mispronounces Florida, but it's actually Florida.
So unless you've been there, you had no idea
Right.
until right now.
A lot of people say it wrong. Also considered the wing of America.
It does hang low,
From-
wobbles to
that's
and
Sweet
fro.
cherry.
Homer Simpson dubbed it the wing.
Is that a Homer Simpson quote?
100%.
Welcome to the show, Caitlin.
Thank
you are
you.
officially in. You used the Simpsons quote within your first 3 minutes on the show. You're a
And
permanent
the word
fixture.
wang.
Now we got to figure out how to get another person on the internet for every single episode. Great. All right. Well, you guys know how the show works. Caitlin, I don't know how much you've listened to, so you may not. So it goes like this.
Okay.
Each week I sit down with old friends, new friends, good friends, and bad friends to tell the story of an infamous serial killer. Throughout the show, you guys will chime in on my story and have stories of your own that are true crime, dark, creepy, unsolved, or otherwise mysterious. That's if you brought them. If you didn't, no big deal. Lastly, if you have questions about questions, make sure to ask questions because I cannot answer questions about questions if you never ask questions.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
Yes.
What is it?
What kind of beer are you drinking?
Oh, I am drinking the same beer you are drinking.
What?
Yeah, right? Didn't you pour that in there?
Oh. Oh, right. We pre-gamed.
Yeah, we pre-gamed.
My bad.
We doing it. Cherry sour. Yeah.
A little tangy, right?
Yeah, so delicious though. So, you guys are in. No further questions beyond the beer. Then welcome to and let's play the Serial Chillers podcast. That's a sound drop. What up? What up? What up? Today's serial killer is, have you heard of Harvey Glatman?
I have not.
I have not.
Oh, Matt.
And
Harvey
I
Glatman.
can't wait.
I have.
You
Have
lie.
you?
Why you lie, Matt?
I wish I had. Damn it.
That's
I was
good.
like, damn, we're about to watch Matt tee off on a home
Yeah.
run derby here.
Well, you know, the few times that people have been very confident in the serial killer they landed on, they've
they're
just
not.
done royally poor. So we'll see what happens today. And if you've listened to the show or you know, question number 1. In what year is Harvey Glatman born? Matt, we'll wait for them to write down and we'll take your answers verbally.
So the name Harvey.
Harvey Glatman, what year is he born? Closest to the answer is going to get 250 points.
Questions. Is he still alive? Can you tell us that yet?
No,
Probably
okay,
not.
Matt's cheating already.
Nope, sorry, Matt.
Cheating. Resourceful.
He has questions about questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
you guys got your answers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt, what do you got? What year you think?
1957.
Matt says 57. Caitlin says
I went with 1969.
69.
Get it?
And 1941 for Casey. What were you say again, Matt?
1957.
Casey's going to get 250 points because Harvey Glatman was born December 10th, 1927.
Oh.
Holy
We're
smokes.
going
Damn.
back, y'all.
Ooh, I'm excited. He's
So,
going to have some raunchy, brutal murder weapons.
are we?
Are we?
We will see. We will see. Casey taking an early lead, 250, 0,
You
0.
can refer to me as Bigfoot.
He cheated. He Googled it on his phone, Jesse.
He would never. His phone's right there. He knows the rules.
Exactly.
And that's
All right,
why his
fine.
phone's out there. I've wrapped his knuckles many times.
All right, fine.
So, December 10th, 1927, Harvey was born in the Bronx to Ophelia and Albert Glatman, a young, struggling Jewish couple. In 1931, at the age of 4, he is already beginning to show signs of being a graphic young man and was said to
shit.
do weird and painful things with his penis.
Okay, I thought you were going to say animals, but you went
mean-
penis.
He's
Origami of the.
at like 4, he's tying strings around it and
Stop.
and again, with every story that I tell, who knows?
Who knows?
But I try not to use any facts unless I found them in at least 2 places.
Okay.
So there's definitely some people saying that he would tie a string around it and tie the string to something else and kind of just lean back.
Stop.
And then there's another story where his mom found him slamming it in the
Harvey.
dresser drawers.
Harvey.
Dude, there are people who get paid a ton of money to do that stuff as an adult,
Yeah, I think I've seen that episode of Jackass, actually.
right?
Oh,
See?
true. He's
See?
right.
And then this guy could have just got addicted to whippets and ruined his life and got a full back tattoo of his face, but instead,
Damn
he
it.
decided to kill people.
And this is 1931. He's ahead of the game by like 65 years.
Ew.
So this behavior would continue for some time, and doctors assured Glatman's parents that it was just a phase and he would grow out of it. Of course, when you're 4 and slamming your dick in drawers.
That's not gonna last forever, right?
He's gonna grow out of this, you
100%.
guys.
You have to.
Don't even trip, dogs. In 1932, he's now 5 years old, and his tonsils and adenoids are removed. At this time, his mother describes him as a healthy and normal child with usual childhood sicknesses. So he's at 5.
It's common to be
yeah.
sick of slamming your dick in a drawer.
His mother claims, besides the dick slamming
dick
that she's
slamming.
witnessed, that he's just a normal kid. There's nothing mentally wrong with him.
Okay.
A few
I just
years
said it
down the
sounds
road,
like the worst wrestling move ever.
in 1938, he's now 11 years old. His parents came home to find his neck swollen and rope burned. He never answered why. They moved to Denver.
His collar was too tight.
He was learning how to tie a tie.
He tied his dick around his neck.
They moved to Denver, Colorado the same year, 1938. And in Denver, his father catches him masturbating and warns him that it causes acne. And at this time, Harvey was suffering like early acne. He's 11 years old and he was getting some acne. So his dad's like, yeah, that's because you're jerking your dick all the time, you little fuck face. Why don't you get your hands out of your balls, okay? So,
Dad.
yeah, come on, Dad. Get out of my room.
So silly, Dad.
Can't stop when you catch me like that. In 1939, he's now 12 and he enters junior high school. And children continued to make fun of him for his acne, buck teeth, and overdeveloped ears. I used overdeveloped. They're big ears. They're big, just big ears. Question number 2. What did the kids at school call Harvey? Was it A, Crater Face, B, Bugs Bunny, C, Chipmunk, or D, Pizza Face? You guys
How old is he at this time? 11?
He's 12. 1939 and he's 12. Crater Face, Bugs Bunny, Chipmunk, Pizza Face. What's up, Matt? What do you got for your answer, buddy?
Bugs Bunny.
Matt's going Bugs Bunny.
With Crater Face.
Crater Face.
Chipmunk with the picture.
Caitlin with the picture and the points. The kids go with Chipmunk. His acne, buck teeth, and overdeveloped ears earns him the name Chipmunk.
And the crowd goes wild for
It's better than Fish Belly.
Better than Fish Belly.
Is that someone else's?
You have been on too many episodes, Casey.
How many points do I get for that?
That's 250 points.
How much for the picture?
We're at 250. 250.
It's not the artistic challenge.
And Matt, yet to get on the board.
Matt.
Yeah.
There are 10 questions today, so you have plenty of time, Matt. And normally I'm like struggling when it gets close and I don't have something to do for like a tiebreaker. So non-artistic challenge, I wrote a tiebreaker question too. So if we get there, I'm fucking prepared, y'all. So in middle school, Chipmunk, or Harvey, I like Chipmunk, he feared girls. He turned red and felt inadequate whenever he was around them. He sounds just like a bashful 12-year-old, really, to me. But in 1940, at the age 12, he starts self-bondage games. His favorite method is tying a rope around his neck, getting into the bathtub, and choking himself from the windowsill.
At what age?
A little pulley system. 12.
Okay.
So
Just a normal boy.
Right. And remember, his parents had the year prior to this found the rope burns around his neck that were never explained. So it doesn't get better. So just buckle up, y'all.
We're on to you, Chipmunk.
He also climbs into the attic and strings himself from the rafters in a very similar way. His feet touching the ground, but enough to, I bet you David Carradine thought he was in control too.
Dude, I was just going to say, does this guy go on to star in Kill Bill?
So I actually looked for this too because I was curious in 1940 what he would be getting, but he says that he went to a psychiatrist and was given pills. That reminds me of that meme we were talking about. You got ghosts in your blood. Go home and do cocaine about it.
They were cinnamon red hots in a pill bottle.
I was just going to say they were Flintstone chewables.
Yeah,
they were Neckos.
Harvey.
Dang.
Necco wafers that were just
Black
crunched up
licorice
like
flavor
Tic Tacs.
only.
Gross. In 1942, at 15, he begins high school and is considered an above-average student, but not very athletic. He is involved in Boy Scouts, music, photography, and becomes a delivery boy. Question number 3.
What does he deliver?
What instrument did Harvey play? Was it A, the trumpet, B, the oboe, C, the cornet, or D, the trombone?
I'm going with my 4th grade instrument that I played.
Trumpet, oboe, cornet, and trombone. Matt, what you got up there, buddy?
Clarinet.
Trumpet, oboe,
That wasn't
cornet.
an option, Matt.
Cornet?
Cornet.
Well, I don't even know what the fuck a cornet is, so I'll go trombone.
All right, trombone. Casey says, Bigfoot says cornet.
I said cornet.
And cornet. Should have just stuck with clarinet, Matt. C,
Oboe.
cornet is the answer. You guys,
Mother.
congratulations, 250 to each of you.
There's no way Jesse made up cornet. It was just like,
Hey, I've made up some pretty good wrong answers in my day, you fucker.
I would have guessed trombone too, because a guy who likes to slam his dick indoors probably couldn't resist being called a tromboner.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
That
the
was
rusty,
where my head
the
was
rusty
at.
trombone. That's where it comes from.
Man. So
Ew.
3 questions through, and Bigfoot and Caitlin are tied at 500 apiece. Matt,
Who's staging the come from behind victory.
Yeah.
Matt, thanks for
That's what
coming.
Matt's doing.
Thanks for being here with us.
I'm gonna pull a page out of Shai's book. Hey, good job, you guys. You're doing great.
Thank you.
In 1944, at the age of 17, he begins creeping around apartments and breaking into them at times. He steals a .38 revolver. During his senior year in high school, he starts binding, gagging, and molesting Denver women while robbing them of small amounts of money. So he's breaking into their homes. He's tying them up.
Senior year.
He's fondling them a lot. He does no raping.
But he's just a normal boy.
He's just a normal
According
boy
to
with
Mommy and
normal
Daddy.
sicknesses, right? Mommy and Daddy never stopped defending him either.
Is he
it
taking
seems.
his pills at this point?
Who knows? The cinnamon is
Red
probably
Hot?
why he's getting in. They're like, his breath is wonderful.
Oh.
Just come right on in, Dave.
Hella enticing.
Harvey, that's such a wonderful name too. So,
young lad.
so yes, he's binding, gagging, and molesting Denver women while robbing them of small amounts of money. On May 4th, 1995, Glatman bound, gagged, molested, and robbed Eula Jo Hand and 2 other women in the Capitol Hill neighborhood of Denver. On May 18th of the same year, at 17, police caught him in the act of breaking into an apartment of Elma Hammam through a window. In his pockets, they found a length of rope and a .25 caliber pistol. While under interrogation, he confesses to a number of burglaries. On May 21st, 1945, he is charged with first-degree robbery, and his parents posted bail. He's 17.
Because he's normal.
Yeah, right.
Let him out.
So he's not allowed to attend his high school graduation due to these crimes committed. On June 18th, 1945, at 17, while out on bail, he abducts a woman, Noreen Lauer, from her neighborhood, and after binding her, he drove her out of town to Sunshine Canyon. He again fondles and molests, but no rape, and he then returns home.
Hashtag me too.
Because he slammed his dick and he can't rape.
she
Probably
went
bent in half.
she went to the police where she looked at a series of mugshots and identified him. He was rearrested, and this time no bail is pending. He graduates from high school towards the top of his class, although he was in jail at the time. In July 31st of 1945, Glatman's bond on the Lauer case was reduced to $2,000, and he was committed to the Colorado Psychopathic Hospital in Denver for evaluation. Hey, Greg, can you give me a 1945 conversion on $2,000?
Yeah, one sec.
It's gonna be like fucking $15,000 or something. Question number 4.
How much? 45?
$2,000. How much is $2,000
$2,000.
in 1945? Question number 4. After the evaluation, was he held in the facility? This is just a yes or no for 250 points. What say you, Matt?
Yes.
Matt says yes, he's held. Caitlin says no. Bigfoot says no. Matt strikes for the first time today.
Mother.
I
Matt.
figured if they didn't give him bail, they had to hold him at least a little bit.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break before we head
Sorry.
into questions beyond. Come back or we'll kill you. This is a break. We're on a break. Serial Chillers Podcast is coming right back. Have you skipped this yet? Okay, welcome back, everybody. Greg pulled us the numbers while we were on break, and I believe it was $27,700 is how much $2,000 in 1945 dollars would be. I'm going to flip the fan off right quick here.
To be fair, I did it before you guys went to break. I just
Okay,
couldn't find a
Greg,
way
don't
to work it
expose
in.
us like that.
Goddamn overachiever.
Gosh.
No, I just couldn't find a way to work it back into the conversation. I didn't want to interrupt and be like,
We just
hey.
got to get a Greg button.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That isn't a good idea. Okay. So after evaluation, I believe Matt was the only one to get it right. He is confined to the facility until September 8th. This is from July 31st. September 8th to September 27th, he had a little bit of action going on. While out of the hospital and out on bond from both of the Denver and Boulder County jails. Glatman bound, gagged, molested, and robbed 2 women in the Park Hill neighborhood of Denver. He also molested another Denver woman who screamed and ran out of her house as he stole her money. He doesn't stop.
No.
He's never. There's
doesn't
never
have an off button.
And if we look too, because I like to do it chronologically for the most part. There's sometimes there's like there's a month between action.
But let's go back
They
to
have,
his
like, a
childhood.
cool-off
Normal.
period.
I mean, it was fairly normal, which
What?
I'm not saying that his behavior was fairly normal,
Oh,
but
just
the
growing up.
environment that he
Okay.
grew up in is.
His parents were like,
His
we're doing
parents
all
were, like,
right.
sexually molesting.
Yeah, his
him or
parent.
anything
Right,
like that.
exactly. He wasn't physically abused, as far as we know.
Right.
But most serial killers come out and become the martyr once they're in the position and they could just let it all out plus more. I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm actually hardly ever even right on this show. So what do you know?
whatever.
What you know about that? September 30th, 1945, Glatman was arrested for a 3rd time in Denver for the Park Hill neighborhood assaults. On September 30th to October 8th, Glatman was confined in the Denver County Jail. On October 8th, Glatman was ordered by the court to go back to the psychopathic hospital for, quote, a period not exceeding 10 days. On the same day,
Great.
the court released the $2,000 bond. There you go. November 4th, 1945, Glatman's 3rd charge for the Park Hill assaults was dismissed. November 19th, 1945, Glatman pled guilty in Denver in the case of the Eula Joe Hand. Dr. Hilton was his only defense witness and recommended insulin shock treatments. Dr. Hilton is the one who's been diagnosing him
I'm sorry,
throughout this entire
insulin
thing.
shot treatment?
Yep. And so 1945, that was that.
That'll stop you from
that
killing
was that
people.
Shit. Just get him the insulin
Yeah.
shock treatment. And this was the only person at his defense. Hey, trust me,
This will work.
he's an okay guy, but we're gonna just say insulin shock treatments. I think we can really take care of him.
Yeah.
I'm from the Bronx. I don't know if you could tell. So I forgot we're in Colorado.
I was
during
going to
this
say, I
part.
thought he was
Damn
in
it.
Colorado
Yeah,
now.
whatever.
He moved there.
He traveled.
Big fish, small pond.
Family friend, Just on November 26th of the same year, Glatman appeared at a hearing in Boulder on the Noreen Lauer case, which was continued because of his conviction in the Eula Joe Hand case. On December 1st of 1945, Glatman was sentenced to 1 to 5 years at the Colorado State Penitentiary in the case of Eula Joe Hand. On December 5th, Glatman began his first prison term as prisoner number 23863 at the Colorado State Penitentiary.
Let me write that down.
Question number 5. How long of his 1 to 5 year sentence will he serve? Please give me your answer in years and months.
So it wasn't days.
It was not. Well, I mean, it was days.
1 through 5.
Yes, he got a 1 to 5 year sentence. How many will he serve? How long of this sentence will he serve? I specify the years and months thing because people will write like 1.5 years. I'm like, all right, I get what your answer is, but let's just write what it is. All right, Matt, what say you?
1 year, 9 months.
Matt says
That
1 year,
son
9
of a
months.
bitch.
Casey,
Wow.
Bigfoot says 1 year, 9 months.
2 years, 2 months, and 2 days.
Dang, 2. Well, on July 27th, 1946, Glatman was paroled from the Colorado State Penitentiary after less than 8 months of his 1 to
Mother.
5 year sentence.
I was going to say 9 months, and you said years and months.
That's why I
see?
did years.
You gotta get tricky. You gotta put
Yeah.
0 years.
It's friggin' tricky host.
Okay, so let's see here. Who was the closest there? Casey and Matt. I will award you both points.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop.
Tits.
But you got to split them.
Nope, I already wrote it.
He doesn't have an eraser. It's
true.
Sharpie.
It's true, I don't, and it is. Okay, Bigfoot takes the lead, 750. Matt has 500. Caitlin has 500. We might need that tiebreaker after all, y'all. See what I did there, Matt?
They say y'all in Jacksonville.
Hey, see what I did there, Caitlin? July 27th to August 25th, 1946, while out on parole for the Eula Joe Hand case, and still under $2,000 bond from his assault of Noreen Lauer, Harvey approached Thomas Starrow and Doris Thorne. He ordered them into the dark under some trees and took Starrow's wallet. He tied Starrow's legs together and molested Thorne by threatening to kill her with his cap gun, which looked very real. Yeah. Cap guns looked fucking real when I was a
Don't
kid. Like
underestimate the cap gun.
1997. I'm
That
sure
is
they looked
real.
real as shit in 1946. They're just made out of the same things, but didn't
Yes.
fire bullets.
No, they did fire.
So after this attack, Harvey then leaves and goes to Albany, New York.
I lived near there, Saratoga Springs.
Snip, snap. So
I
you
wish
can,
I lived in the 40s so
I'm
I
gonna-
could get murdered by him.
I'm going to start hitting you up because I get a lot of shit for mispronouncing upstate New York names.
Really?
I'm very good at mispronouncing those poorly titled cities.
People get mad at you.
They don't get mad. They
They get disappointed.
Cicero. 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 I don't know. It looks like Cicero to me.
Poughkeepsie.
Cicero. Yeah. Actually, that was the one that
got
one and
Poughkeepsie?
I got Poughkeepsie, and what was the other one, Greg? Schenectady.
Oh.
Schenectady.
The
You got
Adirondacks.
the easy one.
Hey, shut up, bro.
Lake
I got some.
Placid.
So he's the cap gun. He's going to Albany, New York. Glatman followed a nurse, Florence Haydad, who he attempted to sexually assault. Luckily, she got away. Wow, she's not dead. Then he found Evelyn Burge and Beverly Goldstein. They also got away and reported the incident to the Albany Police Department. Within 2 days, he was in custody, and Glatman confessed to the attack on Florence Hayden. Mom and Dad Glatman were shocked at the actions of Harvey. I think that they caught wind of the last of the Colorado attack, so they were like, let's fucking go to Albany for a while, right?
Yeah.
Like, get you out of here for a minute and see how it goes. And it did not
He
go
just needed
well.
a new environment.
Yes.
So he could thrive and be the authentic self.
A new hunting ground, we'll call it.
Okay.
Yes, this piece of shit. I hope I
Thanks,
get a
Mom
message.
and Dad.
Yeah, I hope I get a message from somebody telling me that Harvey Glatman's not a piece of shit because they talk to him for 2 hours a day. In October of 1946, he is convicted of assaulting Hayden, accepts the guilty plea for a reduced charge, and he was sentenced to 5 to 10 years at the Elmira Reformatory. Not to be too repetitive, but question number 6. How
going
long
low.
of this sentence did he serve? So it's a 5 to 10 year sentence. Answer in the same format, years and months, please. All right, how long you got, Matt? Of the 5 to 10 year sentence, how long did he serve?
6 years, 6 months.
6 years, 6 months.
2 years, 3 months.
2 years, 3 months.
5 months. Can't trick me
5
twice.
months. 2 years, 3. What did you say again? 6 years, 6. So Casey is going to get another 250, but very close because 2 years, 3. He spent 4 years, 1 month in. So it was very close on
I'm
that one.
surprised.
But he spends 4 years, 1 month of his 5 to 10 year sentence. And Bigfoot is running away with this, y'all. The
Dang it.
He served 4 years, 1 month of a 5 to 10 year sentence. In 1948, he's now 20 years old. Dr. Ralph
He's only 20.
Ryan Kale, I know, diagnosed Harvey with a psychopathic personality, schizophrenic type, having sexually perverted impulses as the basis of his criminality.
Mm-hmm.
All these diagnoses for these very old serial killers
Just like give him some pills.
are 4 sentences long, and they can just give him some pills,
Yeah.
quote unquote. So he was
Ghost
sent
in his
to
blood.
Altoids.
ghosts in his blood. Do some cocaine about it. He was sent to Sing Sing, a maximum security prison, to complete his prison term. At Sing Sing, Glatman was described as being psychoeducated and,
Ooh.
if still antisocial, should be segregated even if schizophrenia does not seem developed. So what they are saying, though, is they're sending him essentially with a message saying, like, hey, this guy is fucking lunatic. Even if it doesn't seem like it and he's trying to play you for a fool, go ahead and just segregate him from the rest of your prisoners because you're probably
play
not
it
safe.
safe.
Yeah, exactly. November 27th, 1950, a Boulder judge dismissed the case of Noreen Lauer so that Glatman could be paroled from Sing Sing prison.
Why?
I do not know. So on November 27th, he is indeed paroled from Sing Sing prison. He was noted as being by the prison guards a model prisoner with a high IQ who, quote, demonstrated ability and eagerness in his prison duties
He was trying
and
to get out.
responded positively to medical
That's how I would
exams.
act as a prisoner.
I think that that's kind of his deal. He got out of like all of his
Yeah.
prison sentences pretty quick because he's just
He's so polite. He's
so
a model
nice.
inmate. Model inmate.
Yeah, and maybe a model. He's so good looking, Greg. You saw the picture of him.
Yeah.
Chipmunk.
He's not that good looking. That
No.
good looking. He's pretty good looking.
I'll be the
Whatever,
judge.
you know. So, yes, under parole conditions, Glatman was to return to the care of his mother, get a full-time job, and be under court observation for 4.5 more years. Harvey returned to Denver, Colorado, where he lived with his parents until his father's death. Oh. And that was in October of 1952, when a now 24-year-old Harvey has his father die from the diabetes.
Pour some out for his father.
Yep. In early of 1953, Harvey's psychiatrist retires.
Oh, shit.
And this has all of a sudden become quite a time for Harvey Glatman.
He's about to thrive.
Yes. In January of 57, so that's actually what's crazy is his dad dies, his psychiatrist retires, and then we don't hear shit about him for like 4 years. He moves. He may have been. He moved back out to California, although he occasionally returned to Denver to visit his mother. Once arriving in Los Angeles, he picks up a hobby. Question number 7.
Skinning people.
What is the hobby? Is it A, model building, B, golf, C, cycling, or D, photography? Model building, golf, cycling, or photography?
I really need to make a comeback.
And what say you, Matt?
D, photography.
Photography. Bigfoot says A, model building. Caitlin says photog. Matt and Caitlin are getting points out of this one because when Harvey Glatman gets back to California, he picks up photography.
He probably takes weird fetish photos.
Notes, son, Boy Scouts, music, photography, earlier in life.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
He's
no.
taking notes.
Came for the W.
Okay. I'm going to start taking notes myself.
That's
that accountant bookkeeping. He's like, wait a second.
You're right.
What's funny is I don't even normally write questions with the intent of having you be able to go back on the notes and do it. It's usually something that's coming up. So good.
Well, now I bet you won't ever do that again.
Excellent pull. No, I'm definitely
everybody.
If I was lazy enough to miss that, I'm definitely going to do it again.
Yeah, he's still not doing it.
That's really what's happening.
You have put more effort into this episode than I have into this show.
Into your life. Don't lie. It's your life.
Dang, Greg.
I'm just
You gonna
kidding,
take
Greg.
that?
No, it is. I just don't put any effort into that either.
Casey, you still have the lead. Yes. Tits. Okay, so Matt and Caitlin at 750, Bigfoot at 1,000. We've got 3 questions to go. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, man. It's fucking hot in this room. Jeez.
You guys eat poop too?
Not without the poop knife.
Your dogs eat poop.
Okay, so blah, blah, blah. Dismiss the case. Now they did. Who the fuck? Why? Live with that. There's his mom. Okay, he's a photographer. Okay, so he's into photographing women for photographs in Pulp Fiction magazines. He worked both on contracts and as freelance. So for those of you that can't picture a Pulp Fiction magazine, thinking of the cover of the movie Pulp Fiction will kind of help you. Think very, very dark, heavily shadowed. A lot of times it's like women in a chair who've been tied up and look like a damsel in distress. Very like Dick Tracy art style. This
Very Uma Thurman-y.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So he's this kind of fits perfectly for him because he gets to tie women up and photograph them and tell them like, look afraid, look like you're just like so fucking afraid of me right now.
Okay, Harvey.
And so I like to channel them every now and again.
What's this guy's name again? Harvey Weinstein?
Glatman.
Harvey Glatman. They would often be tied up and looking afraid and helpless in the photographs. He did this for some time until August 1st, 1957. He called Judith Dole regarding a photo shoot. She agreed to do a photo shoot that afternoon, and he told her to wear a tight skirt and sweater. They left her apartment and went to his, quote, studio. They began shooting bondage photos for the magazine when Glatman pulled out a gun and began taking photos of Dole in bondage with the gun. He's escalating, right? That's like it's been since the beginning, level. Right? It was like first it'll be like I'll do a little fondle, and I'll get the fuck out of here. Then it was like I'll get a gun, and I'll do a little fondle, a little robbery, yeah, and then it just continues to progress
Snowball.
to his first victim, Judith Dole. So he's taking pictures with, like, he's tying her up, putting the gun nearby or pointing him at her and, taking some photos. He's getting her really, really afraid. There are photos of it too. He then raped Judy and made her cuddle with him as they watched television.
Was she
Netflix
crying?
and chill?
She was crying. She was like, I don't
This
want
moment,
to cuddle.
in this moment, Harvey Glatman had just lost his virginity.
Oh.
Stop.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep, 30 years old. Later, he took her out past
10 more
Thousand
years, I would have been
Palms.
a wizard.
He lassoed her neck, shoved her to her knees, pushed her down, and took the other part of the rope around her ankles and pulled her body up with his knee in her back until she died. So he essentially hogtied her, put his knee in her back.
Snapped her in half.
That's like crucifixion. Like you just suffocate after that, or what? Like
Yeah, I guess. You just knee in the back and pull the rope for a while.
you can't breathe.
Do you think he just snapped her spine, though?
It says that she died of asphyxiation.
Yeah, she had to suffer. It has to be like crucifixion.
You can't breathe like that?
No, he like did it like right here. Did
Oh,
it
it
around her
was around
neck
her
and then
neck
like
and
around her.
her
Yeah, sorry,
feet.
not her. It was like a hog tie. Everything behind her back.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he put his knee in the small of her back and just pulled the rope
Okay.
up. So he like hung her while she was laying on the ground.
Okay. Knee hang.
Yes. Question number 8. The escalation has reached its peak. How many women will he kill when it's all said and done? This one is a stab only. 250 points to the closest. 500 if you nail it.
Ooh, please, please, please. That was one digit.
Matt, what say you?
16.
Matt says 16. Bigfoot says 9. Caitlin says 17. Bigfoot's going to get the points.
Oh my gosh.
Because Harvey Glatman, by the time it's all said and done, will have the minimum requirements for this show and 3 murders.
But was that 3 known murders?
It was actually initially only 2 known, and then they found out the third one. So he later qualified to be a serial killer.
I've actually heard that there's 13 also unknown murders by this guy.
And then there was an additional one which makes it 17. So
Oh.
I didn't hear about that one.
yeah.
So,
Dang it, I'm not doing well.
hey, hang in there.
I don't want to get last. I hope
I'm
Matt
just trying
gets
to bat
last
500.
then.
Well, with 2 questions to go, you
Do
guys
we get to
are
wager on any
you
of
guys
them?
are you can totally wager because I don't have shit for you. So, with 2 questions to go, Matt and Caitlin need to answer both of them correctly to be
Okay.
able to tie Casey.
Okay.
So, Casey, you answer 1 question correctly over the next 2, and you're going to have walked away with a pretty steady victory. I'm looking here, and I think you've only not scored on 3 of the first 8. So,
Did you guys collaborate before
holding
this?
it down, holding it down. No, I even stopped doing artistic challenges when this guy comes. He's too good at drawing.
I downloaded his Google Docs where he keeps all the-
Dang.
It is convenient that the 2 out-of-towners are losing.
Interesting. Interesting. You locals.
Those would be the easiest ones to have a time to cheat. So, in November of 1957, after killing Judy Dole, he heads back to Colorado because he loses his job, and his mother asks no questions about the move. In 1958, he heads back to Los Angeles and rents a nice bungalow. In March of
What does
1950,
he do for work? Where's he getting this money? He stole
he's
it from
he's
all
both a
this-
freelance and contract photographer
Oh,
for
right,
Pulp Fiction
right,
magazines.
Right. Silly me.
Apparently, he was quite well known for his work.
Okay.
Yeah, who would have thought? Harvey Glatman, that's who. In March 1958, at 31 years old, Harvey met Shirley Ann Bridgeford at the Patty Sullivan Lonely Hearts Club. They planned to eat dinner and drive to Sun Valley. While driving, he pulled out his .32 caliber and demanded her to undress. He then raped her and demanded her to pose for pictures. After that, he garroted her, killed her, and took pictures of her dead body in certain positions.
What the
In the documentary I watched, the lead detective on this says that, to his knowledge, Harvey Glatman is the first serial killer to photograph his victims.
poses? Oh, photograph.
Because we're talking 1957 here, early 1958.
Earliest friggin' weirdo.
He's the first I don't know. Maybe there's someone earlier who used to photograph their victims, but he was taking them out.
They maybe used to paint their victims.
Maybe so. And
Prior
you,
to photography.
it just took
Why
a
the
long
Mona Lisa
time.
looked so weird.
If they were dead, they would stay in the same position. This is totally fine. He could take days.
So you can see all these photos. I found very
I will
easily
look
found a
after this
Tumblr
episode.
gallery that
they
had.
gross?
No, he didn't.
They were tasteful. Tasteful dead
he
bodies?
shot them or strangled them for the most part. So
Paint
they
me like
weren't
one of
very
your
like
dead girls.
yeah, they
Ew.
weren't very gruesome in the
Yeah.
gore sense. But I mean, they're mostly of the women still alive, so you can see the fear in their face. So.
Awkward.
That's the hard part behind it, I would say.
Right.
So that was in March, and in July of 1958, this is the one they wouldn't find out about for a while, but I just threw it in here as if we knew it all along.
Yeah.
He would kill Ruth Mercado. Ruth Mercado was reported missing from her West Pico Avenue rooming house on July 27th, 1958, by her landlord, 4 days after she'd left for a photo shoot with an unknown man. Her landlord had opened the door to her room when she began to worry about her. He found a small dog and 2 parakeets near death from starvation and lack of water. Ruth hadn't been in Los Angeles very long, and she'd moved west, as Glatman had, from New York. Since arriving on the West Coast, Ruth had worked as a pinup model, and she'd also worked as a stripper under the name Angela Rojas.
Ugh,
Any
kinky.
dreams she had were now gone. Her body had been covered with brush and debris by her killer and had been left to decay in a remote spot on the way to Escondido.
Yuck.
Yeah. In October 1958, Lorraine Vigil, a first-time model, agreed to pose for Harvey Glatman at his studio. He picked her up and claimed that Lorraine was getting on his nerves, so he pulled his gun on her while they were driving. She fought hard and was even grazed in the leg by a bullet during the altercation. He pulls over, and she finally is able to kick open the door and get out, and wrestles with him for the gun before actually gaining control by biting him hard on the hand. She then pointed the gun at him and ran around the corner where there happened to be some California highway patrolmen.
Perfect.
Right. So she ran to the light, and much to her relief, 2 police officers were found. The police officers take into custody Harvey Glatman and search his car. Question number 9. What did they find upon searching Harvey's trunk? Pick 2 of the 4.
Okay.
A knife, a tarp, a ski mask, and a rope. Pick 2, please. Knife, tarp, ski mask, rope. And I forgot that this question was here, so there's actually a little more points to go around because it's going to be 250 points for each question. So, Casey, you're going to want to get some of these.
All of a sudden.
You don't have to,
Right?
but you probably want
It's
to.
whatever. Don't get some.
All right, Matt, what say you? Knife, tarp, ski mask, rope. What 2 did they find in his trunk?
Tarp and rope.
Matt says a tarp and a rope. Bigfoot.
Tarp and rope.
Tarp and rope. Caitlin.
Hey.
Rope and a tarp. Well, you're all going to get 250 points because he did have a rope in the trunk.
Was
He did
it a
not have
ski
a
mask?
tarp.
Wasn't it?
It was not a ski mask
Okay.
either. He had a knife.
I started right
Yep.
ski mask and then I was
And
like,
the knife, to me, seems red herring because he never used a knife before. I
Right.
think he just happened to
Right.
have a knife in his trunk.
he
and
had to cut his
it was a good
victims
reason.
out of their rope though.
There you go. So everybody gets 250 on that one. And don't worry, Casey, we are where we were before. But everybody is going to be in the thousands today, so that's fun.
It's a high scoring affair.
A high-scoring affair indeed,
Word to
co-host
your
Greg.
mother.
Okay, with one question to go,
I'm gonna write
let
it
me
in.
see what this question is. Nope, Casey, you're going to be the winner, it looks like.
Spoiler
can you give
alert.
us a chance?
Yeah, you're for sure going to get the question, but you can't win.
Why? I'm
Uh,
leaving.
By the
Because rules, okay?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So, congratulations, Bigfoot. I'll give it to you early. So, in his trunk,
Thank
they
you.
find the knife and the lengths of rope. They arrest him and take him in for questioning because of the rope that he may be connected. They insisted that he is the one who killed the other girls. Harvey finally confessed that he had indeed killed them. He said that there was no way they would know unless they found his toolbox. What toolbox? Asked one of the officers. Harvey further explained the toolbox with pictures of all of the dead bodies.
Ew.
So that's what we were talking about, the photographs.
them-
He had a toolbox out in his garage, a little green toolbox just full of trophies and mementos from all of his murders. And that's what you can find on that Tumblr gallery.
Okay.
So, I'll let you find that on your own, y'all.
Check it out.
He took the officers as well to the bodies of Ruth Mercado and his second victim as well. Oh, I'm sorry. It was all three. He took the officers the bodies of all three. So he wouldn't have probably ever even been caught.
So he's like, that's kind of nice. That's polite.
Yeah, I think it was because once he was caught, he just wanted to not be alive anymore.
He
Okay.
just threw in the towel.
In November of 1958, Glatman was arraigned. He was then interrogated some more, and he confessed on tape to each of the murders in detail. Later that month, Ophelia, his mom, was 69 years old and visited Harvey in prison. She argued to the press that Harvey was sick and he didn't know what he was doing. In December of 1958, Dr. C.E. Langiel found no evidence of psychosis and said Harvey knows right from wrong. On December 15th, 1958, it's court day, and Harvey decides to plead guilty. Judge Lowe asked him if he understood what that meant, and Harvey said that he just wanted the most direct way to a death sentence. The next phase of the trial was sentencing, either death or imprisonment. To decide this, the jury was played the taped confessions, so they got to hear in detail from his voice exactly what he had done to these women. Judge Lowe imposed the death penalty on Glatman due to this tape. In 1959, at the age of 32, Glatman is transferred to San Quentin Prison. On September 18th, 1959, Harvey Glatman was executed. Question number 10. What method of execution did they use?
1959.
1959. What say you, Matt?
Gonna go with the firing squad.
Firing squad. Lethal injection says Bigfoot. Caitlin says the electric chair. And she has some cool little zip, zip, zap, zap,
Did I
zip,
spell
zap.
it wrong?
No, I think you spelled it just perfect.
Electrocution.
But on September 18th, 1959, Harvey Glatman died by inhaling cyanide gas inside the gas chamber.
Damn it. I didn't
Damn,
know
I
that
was
was
really
a thing.
hoping it was the firing squad. That was like by far my favorite answer. I wanted it to be that so bad.
I almost said hanged, but
Me
I
too.
thought it was
Me
too
too,
late.
man. Shoot.
Mother.
So that does conclude the life of Harvey Glatman. It gives Bigfoot another victory.
Batting 500.
Brings him back. I think he's 3 for 6 now, so he's got that going for him.
So time out. 1959, 32 years old, like at most. Like, holy smokes, is that the youngest, like life to death
No way.
serial killer?
That I do not know. That is a very good point, though. 32 is very young to have been sentenced and
Like, through
executed.
the whole process, yeah. That's
Not
crazy.
in 1959, motherfucker. You didn't. Nobody
And-
got no
He was
18
pretty
years
cool.
on death
When
row.
did they outlaw the
Bing,
death penalty in
bing,
California
bang, boop.
for a little while? 60s?
Yeah, I was gonna say late 70s,
So
maybe
he-
like the time of
okay.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Free love.
Crazy.
I love inmates.
yeah. So he did.
But
You
not
guys want the
before.
bonus question just for fun?
As a former
Yes.
correctional officer, I do
Caitlin
not
and I
love
tied, right?
inmates.
So we can figure out second.
Are Matt
place.
and I tied?
You guys are tied.
Second place.
So this is for second place. Bigfoot, you can answer too, just for fun.
No, you can't.
What was Harvey's serial killer nickname? Was it A, the model murderer, B, the glamour girl slayer, C, the pinup killer, or D, it's 1959, baby, they didn't give him no nickname?
They
Model
could have given
murderer,
it after.
glamour girl slayer, pinup killer, or no nickname?
You ready for me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you saw
I'm
mine?
going. No, I didn't.
You
I'm going
cheated?
model murderer.
Matt says model murderer.
Pinup killer.
Caitlin says pinup killer.
Pinup killer.
And Casey says pinup killer. It looks like today it will remain a tie for second place because he
We all
was
got it wrong.
the glamour girl slayer.
I didn't think they would use the term slayer yet.
I like grammar girl.
Yeah.
I
You're
like
an
the
English
grammar
teacher.
girl.
Yeah, I'm just bad at
She
speaking.
probably-
Can I have the origin of the
She
word,
knew
please?
how to use there, and there.
country of origin.
So
Can you use it in a
congratulations once more to Bigfoot on your victory. Is there anything you'd like to say on the way out here,
My
buddy?
brethren are saying it for me. I would like to give a shout out to one of my favorite podcasts, Two Girls, One Ghost.
Okay.
Check it out.
Check it out, y'all. Caitlin, is there anything you'd like to add here at the end of the show?
Can I give it a shout out to my other serial killer
Please do.
friend?
Please do.
Emily Grigorchik. We're going to have you on the show, and you can talk about deaths, too.
Yes, indeed, Reno. Matt, I know you had a story where I totally forgot. Put it in the back pocket because your setup is good and you're going to be on again soon.
I was gonna say, I guess I'm just gonna have to be on again.
Is there any
clarifying question for Caitlin? Your friend is a serial killer, or she's a fan of serial killers?
Well,
Yes.
I don't know her that well.
Yes,
No, I'm
yes,
just kidding.
it means
Well, she kills them, and I bury the bodies. So we're like a team.
Okay.
everybody
Don't
needs an
admit it.
accomplice?
Like-
You never admit. You are terrible at this.
Oh,
Episode 40. Caitlin, talk about it.
I'm just
40
kidding.
of 1 million.
No, her and I are gonna have a detective. Like, it's our side hustle where we solve crimes.
You're going to be
Dang.
private investigators?
Yeah,
Like the firefighters that start fires so they can be there first to put them out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
boy. You guys need a
Yeah.
Great Dane that goes.
okay, on it.
So, anything you'd like to throw out there, Matt? Any shout outs? Any social media? Anything like that?
I might be the only person, but I like to think my Instagram is pretty fun. It's MC Martins. That's an E, not an I.
Yeah. Martens, y'all. Follow Matt.
Martens.
You'll be super disappointed.
Yeah, it's not Mar9s, it's Martens.
Hey.
Martens across the board.
I'm a father, I'm allowed to do that.
Hey.
Greg, is there anything
What?
you'd like to Anything you'd like to throw out at the end here?
My whole track from this episode, just
Wait.
shit can that.
Just toss it all out.
I would like
Well,
to make a confession.
I think it would make everything else interesting.
Caitlin would like to make a confession.
So the song you just played, X-Files.
Yep.
When I was younger, I was deathly afraid of X-Files. They
Yeah.
always wanted to watch it at my dad's house. And so they'd watch it and I'd get a magazine and like hide in the magazine. It was so scary.
So should we play it one more time for you then?
Yeah, but now I'm into it, so.
I was gonna say I'm currently rewatching the entire series on Hulu right now. I'm like somewhere
mature.
in season 4.
It's way too good not to watch it.
I'm mature now. I can handle it.
It didn't really age well as far as clothing and vehicles went, though. I have to say, the 90s.
Well,
were
they
a
always
weird
had the
time.
same car because it was rental cars, and they were cheap because it was the fucking FBI.
What are you going to do?
What are you gonna do?
Followed, Matt.
Apparently,
Followed.
gripe about it on a podcast later.
So thank you guys for coming all the way from Jacksonville,
Thank you for
Florida,
having
from
me.
Austin, Texas,
This was a dream come true.
from an underground bunker far, far away, and Casey.
Do you need us to send soap,
from
Greg?
not too
From
far.
1 mile
Now we're
away.
good on that here.
You're good on soap? Okay.
Greg stacked up. He doesn't. Greg, what she's trying to do is get your address. It's the address of the bunker. She's trying to.
Great.
It's just a mailbox. My address is just a mailbox.
You
P.O.
live in
box?
the mailbox?
You actually write just a mailbox on the
Okay.
envelope. It gets there.
Okay. I'll send it out later
That's not
tonight.
where I live. It gets here.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you, Bigfoot. And thank you, co-host Greg. And thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 39 of the Serial Chillers podcast.
Oh, wait.
He thought.
That was episode 39. Thank you guys so much for sticking in there. Harvey Glatman, again, was a trip back in time a little for us. I tend to stick to the more recent crimes or some from the golden age of serial killers. So it was a little interesting to go back and kind of look at something from the 40s and 50s, and kind of also, again, interesting to hear about the fact that as far as we know, he is the first serial killer to photograph his victims. I don't encourage you to go look for those photographs, but they are available. So, congrats again to Bigfoot on his victory. Get him a little samurai chatter in there because I know how much he loves it. It was a very fun episode. I really enjoy having the guests here. It makes it a big part of the show. So it was just a really fun episode, and I hope that came through and you guys enjoyed it as well. So if you have any suggestions for future episodes or any questions or comments about this one, please reach out. You can do it in so many ways. The Facebook is Serial Chillers Podcast. You can join the Facebook group. It's closed, so just wait and we'll accept you. Instagram is at Serial Chillers Podcast. The Twitter is at Chillers Podcast. Email is serialchillerspodcast@gmail.com. You can call or text the show at 1-805-666-2513. serialchillerspodcast.threadless.com for all of your serial chiller merch needs. There's shirts and hats and notebooks and tapestries. And if you like any of the logos or any of the artwork we've put up, they'll be on there. So check that out. Also, serialchillerspodcast.com will have the most recent episode along with all of the sources and outlines for all the episodes from season 2. And lastly, and probably most importantly, patreon.com/serialchillerspodcast. That's where you can give as little as $1 a month for 1 month to help the show. So if you've ever thought about helping the show out in any way, I appreciate it. If you have helped the show out in some way, I do appreciate it as well. Thank you to Greg for giving to the Patreon. I do appreciate that. I don't know your real last name, or if it is Greg, you got a Wilson thing going on. I do appreciate that too. So thank you to Greg. Also a big thank you to Sarah Anderson for the pledge as well. So thank you everybody for giving to the Patreon. I really do appreciate it. So Harvey Glatman, awful human being. Congratulations, Bigfoot. Thank you guys for listening. Remember, don't talk to strangers.